Welcome back to the campus. Glad to see you again. Familiar faces and familiar places, why it's great to be with you again. So welcome back.
Greeting Wildcats fans. I'm Bob.
I'm Larry from Hell to Purple. Welcome to Catnips Week 2, and welcome to the 2014 college football season. And Northwestern welcomed us to the 2014 season by hosting the Cal Bears at Ryan Field last Saturday. They lost the game 31-24. We have a couple of highlights for you right now. I think we'll leave it at that. Fan reaction from this game was fairly quick and, as we've come to expect, somewhat stoic and understated. Fan reaction during the game at Ryan Field was also left a little bit to be desired.
Well, I was pretty upset when I heard the Boo Birds returning at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah.
I can understand why some of the fans were upset, but booing is really not the answer. But you have to give Northwestern credit. They've been marketing the Cats aggressively as Chicago's Big Ten team. So when you go out and attract the Chicago football sports fan, you get some Bears fans, and you know what it's like at a Bears game when the Bears don't perform well.
Right.
So
there's some frustration.
There's some frustration. We did hear some interesting jokes, though. Almost immediately, I'd say third possession by Cal as they were marching down the field. You could hear people starting to chant, "We want the scabs, we want the scabs." Obviously, in reference to the labor situation over the summer. There was one guy who kept slipping into an Ava Gabor imitation from Green Acres, calling out for Oliver. And finally, when the Cats kicked their field goal for their final points, cutting the Cal Bears lead down to 7, one wag was heard saying, well, they're playing for overtime like all good union people do. So those were some of the jokes we heard. More ominously in the first half, there were comparisons to the unfortunate opener the Wildcats had back in 2002 that came to be known as Air Farce out at Colorado Springs. And the Duke game in 1998, which was not the opener but was early in the season, that one was brought up as well.
Well, 2002 is a pretty good reference. I mean, it was unexpected, coming off of a somewhat disappointing season, and we had thought that there was some significant improvement. I think there is significant improvement. It's just that the Cats did not look prepared for this one game.
Yes, and it was very disappointing in the first half to see the defense getting pushed around the field like they were. But I think even more distressing was the performance of the offense. And Trevor Siemian, who has been a hero in a few games, especially the bowl game we won a couple of years ago. He was having a bad day. It was just a plain old bad hair day. He threw high, he threw wide, and in the fourth quarter he boldly threw where no man had thrown before.
But he had a fantastic touchdown reception.
He did indeed.
Throwing to Jamie Taylor, who threw it back. Very, very nice speed.
And I think that speaks really to the heart of this team, that they did come back in the second half. The defense, clearly unprepared for multiple quarterbacks, adjusted as the game went on and became effective in stopping the Cal Bears. The offense, late in the third quarter, finally recovered its balance and started to score. There was that magnificent sequence of, about 25 seconds where we scored 14 points. But at the end of the day, I think the game left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. To me, it often looked like the Bunny Brigade was out there. The team was flopsy, the receivers were dropsy, and at the end of it all, Mopsy had to mop up the tears. All kidding aside, it wasn't completely terrible out there. And in fact, I think there were some good signs.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Walk-on kicker Jack Mitchell kicked a 24-yarder, gave us 3 extra points. That was encouraging. True freshman Solomon Vault, Justin Jackson, their performance I thought was very encouraging as well. Justin Jackson got his first career touchdown in a Wildcat uniform. And so we've got a couple of folks new to the offense, new to the special teams that hold potential, and I thought they looked pretty good.
I thought there was good potential there too. I was also encouraged for once to see that the Cats didn't sit on a fourth quarter lead. That was encouraging.
Hated man! Top of the world!
All right, so Northwestern is going to try to get back in the saddle next Saturday when they host Northern Illinois. It's the first time we've seen Northern Illinois since 2005, as we mentioned last week. Northern Illinois started their season in fairly convincing fashion by thrashing the Blue Hose, the Fighting Hose of Presbyterian 55-3. And that sounds like a fairly easy game until you realize the Associated Press actually called both of these teams FBS schools. So congratulations for the promotion, Presbyterian.
Well, also in the press, didn't Fred Mitchell from the Tribune say that it looked as if, despite Jordan Lynch's graduation, that Northern Illinois had simply reloaded as opposed to started rebuilding?
So Northern Illinois had actually played 3 quarterbacks during their game against the Hose. So they had, as quarterback 1, Matt McIntosh, quarterback 1B, Drew Hare, quarterback 1C, Anthony Maddie.
Wow.
And so both McIntosh and Hare had thrown touchdown passes against Presbyterian. Matt McIntosh has been named the starting or short-term starting quarterback against Northwestern this Saturday.
Wow. So where I think some of us were getting kind of excited thinking that the Wildcats, having faced 2 quarterbacks last Saturday, would be prepared for facing Northern Illinois, the reality is that the Wildcats haven't had a chance yet to face 3 quarterbacks. So they may or may not be ready for this for this challenge.
Let's ride!
All right, is it time for potables?
I think it's time for potables.
This week, what do we have on tap?
This week we have DeKalb Distilled White Lightning.
You can smell Northern Illinois.
Indeed.
It's delightful. Bottoms up.
Cheers, and no more curse. Wow. This howls. But it's a languid howl. It feels like an old Hank Williams Heartbroken song. It's a howl of loneliness. So lonely, I could cry. It's also dark, a hulking, deep darkness, black like the eternal void that you see when you look into the eyes of Willie the Wildcat. Dark like the vision of Stephen King. You know what? I think that's it. It is Stephen King. It's Cujo. Yes, it is Cujo, and he is howling in his loneliness. Everyone loves a winner. Nobody wants to be around a loser. Cujo is going home to DeKalb with his tail tucked twixt his legs.
Final score?
Cats 18, Dogs 17. Cats win by a whisker.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. For me, it's smooth, but it also has a bit of a froth, not unlike the froth of a rabid dog. A dog that's been kicked and kicked and kicked, and this is a dog that is going to bite back. This is a dog that is looking at the biggest bone and wants it badly. And in this case, that bone belongs to Willie. Willie has owned that bone for quite a few decades.
6-0-1.
6-0-1. And believe you me, this dog has had this particular date with this bone red circled for a long, long time. It's sharp, it's burning, and I hope your assessment's right, because this tells me to expect 28-21. Huskies win.
All right, that's it for Catnips. See you again next week, and as always, go Cats.